Numero uno, the fall cancel. Bandit is lucky enough to have 3 different skills in his loadout which can be used to prevent fall damage and cancel any downward momentum. They are his 2 secondary skills, Serrated Shiv and Serrated Dagger, as well as his utility skill, Smoke Bomb. The key thing here is to use any of these skills right before you hit the ground, and it will cancel any of that downward momentum and you'll get off scot-free without any fall damage. An interesting little tip is that Smoke Bomb actually has 2 instances in its use where it can work as a fall cancel. The first one is when you initially enter into the invisibility phase, and the second one is right as you come out of it. Numero dos, the Smoke and Poke. Bandit is unique amongst the survivors as he has a passive ability which allows him to get guaranteed critical hits when attacking from behind an enemy. This pairs up perfectly with his Smoke Bomb utility skill, in which enemies lose track of him, so you should really be utilizing this Smoke Bomb skill in order to navigate around your enemies, get behind them, and absolutely bippity bop them from the back and get those sweet critical hits. In addition to the fact that enemies cannot track Bandit while he's invisible, the Smoke Bomb skill also has the added benefit of stunning enemies both when you first enter into the invisibility and then also when you exit it, either after a set period of time in which the invisibility expires or if you use any of his other skills while invisible. And these benefits are all on top of the fact that while invisible, Bandit moves way faster. Numero tres, the Bubba Jump. In addition to its utility for escaping bad situations as well as getting around to the backside of enemies for those critical hits, the Smoke Bomb can also be used as an additional jump. Although it does not propel you as high as a Hopu Feather, both the initial use of Smoke Bomb as well as when it expires or you use another skill while invisible will propel you upwards slightly. So you can use this little mini jump to hop over enemies as well as access areas that you typically would not be able to otherwise in order to loot up as fast as possible, since that clock is always ticking. Numero cuatro, the Bandolorian. The Runald and Kajaros bands are already some of the best items in the game. However, combining them with Bandit's alternate special skill, Desperado, takes it to a whole new level of busted. Desperado is unique in the fact that for every enemy you kill with it, you gain a Desperado stack, which is indicated in the bottom left-hand corner. And for each of these stacks, you gain an additional 10% more Desperado damage. Since Desperado's damage starts at a base 600%, which is enough to trigger the bans, which require a 400% threshold, you can use it from the get-go, and every single enemy that you kill with Desperado just makes this combination even more powerful. Although I typically do not recommend the Singularity Band over the Runald and Kajaros bands, there is one situation where you can take this Bandolorian build and take it from busted to the overpowered stratosphere. This particular situation arises when you find the Brilliant Behemoth red legendary item. If you happen to stumble across the Behemoth, make sure to keep your eyes peeled for either the Singularity Band or the Primordial Cube, aka the Allspark. The final piece of the Millennium Puzzle for this absolutely cracked Bandolorian build is a crowbar, which increases the damage done to enemies with greater than 90% health. The reason this works so well is because the Brilliant Behemoth's explosive radius can actually trigger Desperado's on-kill effect. While typically you'd only be able to get one Desperado stack for each use of the skill, By combining it together with these items, you can get multiple stacks at the same time. And since Primordial Cube and Singularity Band have a black hole effect, they pull all of the enemies in together, so you can just one tap and delete a huge swath of enemies and get mad stacks for that Desperado. Keep in mind that the Brilliant Behemoth's effect is the only one like this. The band's effect does not count for Desperado, so if the damage from the actual Desperado shot does not kill the enemy, but the triggering of Runold or Kajaros or the Singularity Band or any other extra damage such as Bleed is the one that kills the enemy, you will not gain a Desperado stack. Numero 5, the Lead Farmer. Piggybacking off of tip number 4, it is crucial when playing as Bandit to utilize Desperado and Lights Out to your utmost advantage by leaving weaker enemies such as Wisps, Beetles, and Lemurians alive so that you can either kill them with Lights Out and reset all of your cooldowns, or if you're rocking Desperado, farm them like the little bots that they are for those tasty stacks. It's also good to get in the habit of weakening an enemy first down to about half health or so if they're one of the tankier ones, and then finishing them off with Lights Out or Desperado, as if you only damage them and don't finish them off with the attack, you do not get the benefits of either the cooldown reset or the stack. Lastly, remember the fact that Bandit's passive ability Backstab, which grants him critical hits whenever you attack an enemy from behind, applies to these two skills as well. So if it is a tankier enemy, make sure you circle around with Smoke Bomb, as mentioned before, in order to get that bonus damage and make it even easier to activate these skills. Now it's time for a little bonus. These are some of the best items that you can pick up as Bandit. As mentioned before, the most busted combo in my opinion is probably that Brilliant Behemoth Crowbar Primordial Cube / Singularity Band combo. However, if RNGesus isn't delivering on the goods, then keep your eyes peeled for these 3 items, which all activate upon critical hits. And since Bandit can essentially get critical hits at will without any crit glasses, these are extremely valuable on him. The first one is the Harvester Scythe, which allows for great survivability on this character since critical hits will then heal you. The second being the Predatory Instincts, which increases your attack speed when you land critical hits. And third, probably the best single item you can find as Bandit, is the Shatter Spleen boss item, which is dropped by the Simp Overlord. This item grants bleed stacks whenever you get a critical hit, and then those bleeding enemies explode on death for additional damage. Truly busted in the hands of the Bandito. Some other items that are solid on Bandit include the Lysate Cell Void item, which grants an extra charge of his special skill, so either Desperado or Lights Out. Hard Light Afterburner is great since it gives you 2 additional charges of Smoke Bomb, which just makes it faster to navigate around and escape any dicey situations, as well as sneak up behind enemies. Bandolier is a real solid pickup as well when rocking Desperado, as the reset in the cooldown can just help you build stacks faster. Finally, Lost Seer's Lens is worth picking up since he doesn't depend on crit glasses to get crits, and likewise, Needle Tick can also be used because Bandit's rate of fire for his attacks isn't that great for building up bleed stacks and can be done with Shatter Spleen much more effectively. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any other Bandito tips down below. Thanks for tuning on in, and we'll catch you next time. Adios, amigos.